Vincent Van Gogh, people told him, you can't be a great painter, you only have one ear. You know what he said? I can't hear you.
Listening to Sippin' Sports, a Phillies sports talk morning show with Chris, KJ, and Dalt. Proudly powered by 302 Birds. Let's take it to the show.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Saturday morning if you are watching us live. As always, we are going to give you that pre-recording disclosure. We're recording this Thursday night. I'm in a hotel, so if my Wi-Fi is spotty, that's why we also got to be as quick as we can because my laptop's on like 19%. But it's me and Chris this week. We're hanging out here. Not a stop in talking Philly sports for you guys, but there's a lot to talk about, from the Philadelphia 76ers and Joel Embiid about to blow up the franchise, to the Phillies being back in on Soto, to the Eagles' upcoming Sunday night game, which we will preview here in a second against the Rams, to a ton more. So it should be a really great episode. But Chris, kicking it off, how are you feeling about Soto?
You were just trying to say, was it last week or something, that they were out on him? I think they're going to, I don't know if they're going to get him, but they're going to be one of the final three teams. It's going to be down to the Phillies, the Mets, and the Yankees. And it's all going to depend on, who's got deeper pockets. And I'm not sure who that is. There's going to be some crazy money thrown around. I wouldn't be surprised if it's up towards $1 billion. It's going to be, what did Ohtani get last year? 700,000, 800,000, something like that. Something crazy. Or 800 million. I think Soto might be close to it. Soto's 26 years old. And he's just finished third in MVP voting and won MVP already, won a World Series already. When we signed Bryce Harper, almost the same type thing. It's just amazing to see the inflation now and what these contracts are, considering Harper was like 330. Soto's going to be most likely double that, if not close. So I think that might be our saving grace right now, though, is Harper played with him, was there when he was a rookie. If he signs here, I think it's going to be because of Bryce Harper. So I'm actually feeling pretty positive about it. Buster Only said earlier today that the Phillies are going to get a star this offseason. Who that is, there's only one guy I can really think of that would be that star, and it's that guy right there.
They got to get somebody to change up the pace, because whatever they did this year, losing to the Mets first round, embarrassment. Not a good look on the franchise, not a good look on the city. So the fact that they're back in the mix for Soto, like you alluded to, Chris, is great. I think who that star could be, like you said, who else would it be rather than Soto? I don't think that there's a lot of guys that they could really make a move on other than that. So hopefully he'll make a good push for him, because as Phillies fans, we're frustrated. This is getting old. It's not fun anymore being a Phillies fan. It was cool when your team was doing that, when you weren't expecting it, but it's not cool when your team's getting their ass whooped when you have expectations. So I don't have much more to say about it other than that. Do you have anything, Chris?
Yeah, the only other star I think it could be is that the pitcher from the White Sox, who I'm not a big fan of, Garrett Crochet. Mm-hmm. He pitches extremely well. The guy just has injury problems and, just doesn't have that longevity in his arm. He wants to get paid already too. So I just don't feel it with Crochet. Apparently the Phillies have checked in on him multiple times. So I wouldn't be surprised if they trade for him, but it's not who I want them to trade for. If they were to make any moves, I think Soto is the move. Then you trade Bohm or Marsh. They got to definitely do something besides just bringing in Soto, because obviously it's going to be a logjam in the outfield. But just get Soto first. Worry about the others later.
100%. Now, moving along. So you sent this article. I'll let you go ahead and talk about it first. But Embiid wants to know, snitches get stitches, bitches. Who was it? Who was it, Chris?
Who couldn't have been? It's got to be a bum, right? It can't be one of the better players. It's got to be a bum. I'm thinking like an Eric Gordon or Jeff Dalton or one of those losers.
You don't think it was like a water boy or somebody said it to one of his buddies, this, that? It could have been one of those things.
But there is
Equipment
just such bullshit going on in this locker room right now. I mean, it starts off with Embiid and fuck Marcus Hayes, but assaulting a dude in the locker room, not a good look. And now there's other shit going on in the locker room. The team can't win. The team's just a dumpster fire. Honestly, I don't give a shit who the rat is. I don't care at all. Like, this is shades of, what was it, 2019 before they got rid of Wentz? Remember that when the anonymous informant came out and saying Wentz wasn't good? It was Eskin was reporting all that stuff.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Crazy, and the Sixers are turning into the same thing. I think the Sixers are done. I think it's over for them.
Yeah, they're cooked. I mean, Embiid wanting to know, I think, just shows you how much of it shouldn't be a blame game, right? If anybody should be taking the blame right now, it should be Joel Embiid, the guy that the team is paying to be a superstar, the guy that the team is paying to be a leader, the guy that the team is paying to fucking play. It should be him taking the blame. And instead, the fact that he wants to say, oh, okay, I'll do the impression for KJ because he's not here. But you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, who wants to, say that I leaked it? It's like, bro, like, it needed to be leaked maybe. And the fact that you're getting this upset about leaking it, I think shows that you don't like accountability. There have been times in his career that we've seen he doesn't like accountability. He shies away from it. And right now, it's probably the toughest time in Embiid's career, accountability-wise. I mean, the fans, the media, the team, his teammates, his coaches, ownership, the guy who works at fucking Chickies and Pete's, everybody's holding Embiid accountable, man. Like, the guy's got to get it together. And the fact that he just keeps shying away from all of this rather than saying the right thing is a real red flag to me. And the dumpster fire of an organization that the Sixers are running right now.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. And, I hate to say it, but if you look at the common denominator through all this, there's been multiple star players. There's Simmons, there's Harden, there's Paul George now, and it's not working. Who's the common denominator? They've gone through multiple coaches. Who's the common denominator?
JoJo.
Yep. And it sucks to say because he is a tremendous, tremendous basketball player. But he's not. He falls short in so many aspects. Like, when you need him most, he just crumbles. And it's completely opposite of what he is in the regular season. Besides this year, he's been god-awful. But, I mean, it's just annoying because you could see him go drop 70 with ease, and then as soon as the playoffs come, who cares? Like, I'm just going to mope and go down the court. You see Flop during a free throw the other night.
Yeah, he's got no heart anymore, man. And he's just trying to pull anything that he can.
I don't know if just all the shit he's been through, he's just done. But then, that's why when they signed him that contract, I thought it was a mistake.
Yeah.
Now
they're married to him.
They got to trade him, though. Like, they got to do something. Break this up. Like, it's just not working. Firing Nick Nurse, to me, is not a solution. Maybe Nick Nurse hasn't been the best coach this year, but it's not the coach. It's not the coach. The team is just a dumpster fire. You just watch them. There's no organization on the court. They suck. I mean, Maxey goes out there and plays like shit last night too. Like, what is up with these guys? The only guy out there that's doing any good is Gay Redick. Jared McCain. He's the only one out there doing anything good. So it's a disaster. It's a real disaster, and I'm done with them. Like, I honestly don't even want to pay attention to them anymore. Like, what have they done to earn my attention at this point? Nothing.
I don't blame you. I mean, it's funny because in our group chat that we have for Sippin' Sports, I texted Chris and KJ and I said, Monday night, got a couple. Shout out to Tick Pick, a great time to highlight them and what they do. Tick Pick takes care of us, took care of us, sent us to Thursday night football last week, was a great time. But, got some credit to burn and was like, hey, fellas, we want to go to a game on Monday night. The Sixers could probably pay me to come watch. They would have to pay me probably at least $100 to come in there and watch that team.
Do that.
Because, I mean, yeah, exactly. Like Chris is
Monday
right.
was Flyers, though, right?
Yeah, Monday's the Flyers. I don't know when the Sixers. Case in point, I don't give a shit about the Sixers. Nobody even knows when the Sixers
I go see the Flyers. I ain't seeing the Sixers.
Hey, no worries. I don't want to spend my money on that either. But
I don't care if we got credit.
I'll spend my money on Mishkov. I'm a chill guy. I just come to see Mishkov score, as that meme is. But case in point, I was listening actually to WIP this morning on the way to work, and they were just talking about like how the Sixers are so exhausting of a franchise to just watch. Like, they aren't fun. Their fans are just, it's just not a good experience for fans. It's not a good product that they're selling.
It's constant bullshit. I mean, how much have we gone through at this point? We haven't even seen an Eastern Conference Finals. I made a TikTok bitching about it last week. And there's a Raptors fan in there saying, oh, you don't have it as bad as we do. And somebody else, and they both have won championships. I'm like, we haven't even been to an Eastern Conference Finals. 2001 was the last time, and I was in fucking diapers. Like, the shit that they've gone through now is ridiculous. You go through coaches with GMs with burners. You go through the GMs getting kicked out. Like, the constant shit. Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz. Like, you go down and down the list of all the shit they've been through. It's done. It's over. They got to, honestly, Josh Harris should just sell the damn team. And now you got the off the court shit with them wanting to build the stadium in Center City. It's just a dumpster fuck.
And nobody's going to want to put their money into this team, invest in a stadium, invest in an organization that's going to have uncertainty because of a player that they invested, two players that they invested in that aren't even going to take the court, that they're going to have to pay hundreds of millions of dollars. Huh?
I think it's like $500 million combined with Paul George and Embiid.
And all this for basically Maxi's new stadium. The one thing I'll say too, I'm glad that Maxi did this. I had this written down last night. Shout out to Spike, Ike, and Fritz. And I said this on 302 Birds on Wednesday. If you guys don't, check out 302 Birds Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock. Chris sometimes comes as a guest on there and helps us out as well. But I'm glad that he did it because Maxi was probably the only dude in the organization that could have done this, that has Embiid's respect. It couldn't have been Morey. He wouldn't have given a shit. It couldn't have been Nurse. He wouldn't have given a shit. It couldn't have been any of the owners. He wouldn't have given a shit. No other player on the team has enough authority or enough credibility. Maybe Paul George, but he just got here.
But he sucks too. Like he's done nothing in his career either. That's
so the only person that could do it was Maxi, and I respect Maxi for it because when you think about that, that's got to be an intimidating thing to do. So the fact that Maxi nutted up and did that, I think is good. But the last thing I'll say about this is the brutal truth is this is going to tell us Embiid's true colors. Like, he's 30 years old now or 31 at this point. So his habits are his habits. Like, people have told him his whole career that he needs to be better. So it's either going to happen now and he's going to fix it because Maxi's somebody that he respects, or if he doesn't, I think that that's your panic button for the Sixers and tells you need to trade him right now because you're going to get maximum value.
Yeah, or like, honestly, the best time to trade him was last offseason before you extended him. I think we all said, at least all of us agreed that I think it was time to blow it up last offseason. Then they go and try to do this patchwork stuff with Paul George, which it's not even patchwork. Like, when you give a guy a 4-year, $212 million contract, A guy who can't stay on the fucking court, nonetheless. Like, it was a disaster from the start. And it's just, I mean, they're a lottery pick at this point. They're a top 5 pick in the draft at this point. Like, could we see them almost getting Cooper Flagg with the first overall pick because they're that bad?
I don't know, man. I haven't kept up with the NBA at all and the draft. But the Sixers are bad. I mean, they could very well be the worst team in the NBA this year, which going into it with the money that they spent, we would have laughed at that. We would have at least thought that we would have had a watchable team. This isn't even a watchable team, fans.
I thought they were going to at least be a playoff team. Like, I didn't think they were going to do damn thing, but like 8 seed, 7 seed, like I thought for sure they're a playoff team.
Still put up
you
a
still
fight,
look at the talent. Like, they may have just stole this kid McCain. The kid is like hands down rookie of the year right now. And besides that, it's a disaster.
Yeah, that's the one bright spot this year, like you said. I like Maxey. I like McCain. Everybody else on the team can go, and I really don't care. But enough talk about wasting our breath on a team we don't care about. Let's talk about the pride and joy of Philadelphia right now, our Birds. So Sunday night, we go to LA. Chris, how are you feeling about this whole matchup?
Hey, Matt Stafford's one of those quarterbacks that'll rip them apart. So I'm really hoping that, they continue to play this defense where they're aggressive and like jamming the corners at the line of scrimmage and that kind of stuff. Because if you let Matt Stafford get hot, watch out. I don't know if this is a separate topic or not, but Devontae Smith might be out. So there's that going on too. Feels like a trap game. Feels like, what was it, 2017 Wentz? Oh, did I say that? It was that time of year too. We'll see.
I mean, isn't every game when you're here, though, and not to interrupt you, but real quick question for you. I had that written down in my notes from 302 Birds, too. I love that you said that. Question, is every game a trap game when you're this good of a team?
Yes. Every game's a trap game, especially when you're Chaos Chris and the most pessimistic Eagles fan in the world. But, I mean, on paper, again, you look at talent-wise, they should blow this team out of the water. Like, LA's a good team, but you look head to toe, they don't have Aaron Donald anymore. Like, he's gone. That was the one worry on defense. Yeah, I mean, they got some good players still, but, like, they don't have any game-planable players. You look at their offense, okay, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, good players, really good players. Stafford, but besides that, I'm not too worried about him either. So you look talent-wise, the Eagles should blow him out of the water. It's just how are they going to play? Sean McVay is a hell of a coach. It seems like he has the Eagles number a lot. So see how that happens when we go out there. I'm excited. I think it should be a win, but who knows? If they let Matt Stafford get into a role, it could be a loss very easily.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They always have the Eagles number. It's always a good, close game with the Eagles-Rams. Which way does it go? I'll say history will actually benefit the Eagles. But the Rams it could be a trap game. And a lot of people like Pete Prisco have the Rams winning. Eagles are the favorites by 3 points. And that was on Wednesday night last time I checked. But I just think that the Rams have a young, inexperienced defense, and against the Eagles offense, they should be able to dominate night and day. It's going to be a nice test and a nice matchup for these young cornerbacks for the Eagles in Quinyon and Cooper going up against Puka
versus
and
Cooper.
Cooper
versus Cooper.
White Coop on White Coop. There you go. White cheddar on white cheddar. There you go. But I mean, these two guys are respectively, all jokes aside, two of the best at what they do. So it's going to be a good test for Cooper to kind of see, okay, here's what a legit top-tier slot wide receiver NFL talent looks like. A guy that's going to, run probably the most crisp of the crisp route. So if Cooper can put up with Cooper, we're in for a treat, Eagles fans. I didn't even think about that, Chris. You're right. So Coop on Coop. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good game, though.
Exciting whites.
Yeah, exciting whites. Oh, shit. But, I mean, I'm excited for it. I am also excited to see how does this pass rush do. I want to see the younger guys get to Stafford early, I think if they can do that, it's going to benefit them, specifically Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. I also want to see one of those middle linebackers have a sack early. That's going to be my hot take, whether it be Dean, Vaughn, I don't know. But in Vic Fangio's scheme, I want to see one of those linebackers have a pick or really a sack early. And the last thing I want to see, this is something I wanted to make a video. Somebody give Vic Fangio a chain or a ball or a moment. Vic Fangio deserves it. The way that this defense has played the past 6 weeks has been lights
Until
out.
they blow it in 1 week and then it's over for them.
If they do that this week, I'm sorry. Knock on wood. With my luck, it'll happen, and then I'll be the fucking jinx. But in all seriousness, my point is we got to give Vic some love. I thought about it the other day, and when you're having a season like this that could be as special as this, you need to sometimes live in the moment. You need to bask in the moment, enjoy it. And I want to see Vic Fangio in some kind of a fucking ski mask or some kind of chain that says Dallas sucks. I know, shout out to Crafty John. Yeah, something cool that gives personality, that shows that this locker room and Vic Fangio, grandpa, like all ages, are all buying into it.
I think that's what makes Vic Vic, though. He doesn't do any of that shit. He's an old style coach still who doesn't do any of that.
But how funny would it be if he did?
It would be funny, but I think he'd rather the players do the talking instead of him.
True. I mean, that's a good point. He is a professional. He doesn't, want to probably lose his job. Back in his day, he shouldn't have done that shit. And when he was in Jesus's 4th grade class, I hear that. But I don't know. I just think if they did something in the locker room, or even if they got him to do a little dance, right, or put a chain on him, I think it would be pretty funny. But they got to earn the win first. And I know that Vic understands that. Like, it's not just going to be before the game he's going to come out and something. It'll be after a win. But I just thought about it last week, and I was like, man, somebody's got to give Vic Fangio his flowers. But somebody who doesn't deserve any flowers, getting into our last topic, this is actually a Delawarean. He went to Red Christian Lion Academy, as Chris said, but Wendell Smallwood getting a big sentence, looking like up to 50 freaking years, which is crazy for messing around with some COVID relief funds, I think it was, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could have done that. Like, I don't know how. I don't know how all these athletes. It was Brett Favre did it too. All these athletes were doing this. I don't know how the hell they were getting their hands on this money.
Yeah,
but hey, like, it's not going to be 50 years. I mean, that's like murder. Like, so I don't think he'll get 50 years. I don't even know if he'll get anything. It's probably going to be a hush thing eventually, but maybe not, because it's only Wendell Smallwood. It's not Brett Favre. But yeah, it's just it's crazy to see all these, like, just whenever an athlete comes up in this big, like, scheme, when either it's pyramid scheme or some type of scheme, it's like, damn, you couldn't have done something better with your money. Like, right?
Invest it.
Wendell Smallwood, and he didn't have like a huge contract or anything, but I mean, these guys still make what, $700 a year base, I think is what it is.
$750,000 a year is base. Add another 50 on that. Another normal person's salary. Add on top of that, please.
Yeah. So, like, you can't get a fucking, like, financial advisor who can, like, set you up for life. I mean, I don't know. I just, as a business major and a finance major, it's just wild to me seeing these guys just get in all this trouble like this, where you just pay an advisor and you'll be fine. Like, yeah, you're going to have to give them 10% or whatever, but maybe even 15%, but they're going to set you up where you're not going to have to work another day in your life. Like, if what do you play 5 years in the league, that money could last him a while if he played his cards right and had a real financial advisor. But now he's screwed himself. He's going to jail. And, like, it's just crazy. Is this the first Eagles Super Bowl winner to get arrested?
No, it is not, technically. A guy who actually played on the same team as him, who probably tackled him a lot in practice, Michael Kendricks, got arrested.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. He had the insider trading.
Insider trading. So maybe these two got the same financial advisor or same
Maybe
agent
that's it.
giving them the same advice, right?
Maybe it's but see, if it was a financial advisor who told him to do this, he might be able to blame the financial advisor for everything, and get off of it.
True. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but at the end of the day, like you said, Chris, when you're an athlete, when you have that kind of money, that kind of stature, I don't really feel bad for you. The one thing I'll say before we wrap up too is, I've heard Brandon Graham say it a lot that he has a good team, and one of his buddies was really good in that process. One of his buddies back from Michigan that kind of was able to be his deal guy, his money man, and like his agent essentially. And that's important that you have a team because these guys need to be able to focus on football. They need to be able to focus on other things, other business ventures. Like look at somebody right now, like LaShawn McCoy, right? Another Eagles running back. The amount of things that Shady is involved in, let alone broadcasting, podcasting, but then construction, real estate, all the other shit that Shady's involved
Was
in.
it bourbon?
Yeah. You're not going to be able to do one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to have a team. And it just sounds like to me, this guy fucked around and found out. Sucks because he's a former Delawarean. Red Lion Christian Academy was a great football school in Delaware, had a lot of respect. And he's a former West Virginia Mountaineer, too. Like Wendell Smallwood is not a bad football player. He had a great resume, Super Bowl champion with the Eagles. So it really sucks to see this because, he's still a human being still for
Only
this
30 years
mistake.
old, too.
50 years, though, yeah, the fact that he could be in there until 80, that's a murder charge. So hopefully it gets better.
I'm sorry. I don't know like how much money it was or anything like that, but 50 years,
Come on.
I don't know, man. That's a lot. That's a lot. Like that's more than like
I think it was like 270 something $1,000 I saw.
I'm sorry.
Which
That's
50 years for that?
50
Come on.
years, maybe 10.
Yeah,
Even
maybe 10 maybe. Even then, like I'd say 5, 10 is upwards. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't have done that. Definitely a mistake. But taking somebody's time of their life away that long. I mean, hey, we're not having court here. Don't worry. Kate or Chris and I aren't running that kind of a show, guys. But yeah, that would be ridiculous. So we'll definitely keep an eye on the situation as a podcast and keep you guys updated on what happens because I'm sure that this is just the
sure there's
beginning
other
of
athletes
many
involved,
announcements. Huh?
I'm sure there was other athletes involved too, because it seems like any of this stuff, it's like I feel like athletes do business ventures with other athletes. Like if you look, there's always another athlete involved somewhere. So it'll be interesting. I don't know. Maybe Carson Wentz is going to jail too. Wouldn't surprise me. We'll see.
I love it. Well, hey, I mean, that's all we got for you guys this week. If you guys haven't, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all those great things. Chris and I would really appreciate it. No KJ this week. I got no clue what he's up to, but we'll all be back hopefully next week, if not the week after. We'll be back.
I'll be a couple weeks. I'm going on my cruise next week, so I will be gone. I'll see you guys in the middle of December. Like, goddamn.
Well, hey, it'll be here before we know it is the thing. It's the holidays, so we appreciate all your guys' patience. If any wild shit happens on Friday or Saturday morning, we apologize for missing it for you guys. But that's all I got. I mean, Chris, you got anything, Chris?
Free Smallwood. He ain't do nothing.
Here we go. The Free Smallwood campaign starts today. Have a good weekend, guys.